We're going. Welcome everybody to Real World Content Team meeting number I don't know, but today's date is October 3rd. So we are consistently working on bettering our systems and making content that reflects that helps people to understand that we are building a cinematic social network. So if you want to check us out on WeFunder and help us build with our patent pending technology, that's wefunder.com/ReelwUrld. If you want to become part of our first show produced with the community, where anybody can join the cast right from their phone and start making scenes that tie together to a larger story, a cinematic universe, then you can go to justiceforhire.app. And I'm Jan. We got Sensei Claus on here. That's his Justice for Hire name. His real world name is Mike. Real World. And yeah, we'll jump into it right now. So Mike just put together some great videos as his character Sensei Claus for Justice for Hire, and we're talking about those. So man, thank you, Mike, for making those dope videos. Or it seemed like they're both the same video, except one has the real world, the JFH title card. Yeah, am I correct in that?
For today, yeah, I uploaded the first one early because I was having trouble exporting with the volume.
Okay.
So the second
I noticed that the first one seemed like the volume was a little lower.
You know, I might go and
actually, it might have been my phone. It might have been my phone because I realized that I was watching it while on Zoom, and then I had to jump off Zoom to see it, and then it was like actually fine. So forget I said that.
They should be essentially the same video. What it is that sometimes my editing software exports without volume, and I have to do something about that. Okay. So the first one is just a completely altered recording. The second one from today, yes, that has title card added and a little bit chopped off. It's essentially the same video, just a little, with a bow on it.
Well, dude, the video itself, the content is phenomenal, and like I think every week we kind of talk about how you're building a library of techniques that, when I think about JFH from like an anime perspective, and I think about Sensei Claus, it becomes incredibly cool to me because it's just so out of left field to have this character doing so many like amazing and very thoughtful techniques that I think a lot of times people in any walk of path of martial arts may overlook these really, really important ideas. And so I think you keep on articulating those consistently. My only note is that I think you should practice cutting out the breaths. And what I mean by that is cutting it more for a fast consumption. Like experiment with that and see if it disrupts your like what something it might disrupt, for example, is you showing off a technique mid-breath. And when you are showing off a technique mid-breath, then keep the breath. But I do recommend chopping your the space between your words out in social, at least you have to figure out what rhythm sounds the best. For example, I would have cut out my just now. I just said so I would have cut out the I would have cut out all the other stuff I said and gone right to this and said and examples of that are in the latest WeFunder video for ReelwUrld, which I have not posted on social, but it's on our WeFunder page. And if you look at the ReelwUrld JFH lift promo video that I cut together, it's 3.5 minutes long, so it's much longer than the kind of content we're talking about for Sensei. But in terms of the editing style, I cut out the breaths there, and it's really about just delivering the information as quickly as possible, and efficiently as possible to in the attention economy. And so I do recommend trying that for your videos, because the videos are so great. We just want to make sure that people actually watch the whole thing, especially people who may not necessarily know, like, hey, yeah. And I would experiment. I would compare like how one video cut with the breaths cut out would in terms of retention over time would compare to one that does not have that. So I think there's more data we need there, but the instinct is just make an attempt on it.
So the thing about that is I was thinking tangentially that the stuff I put on mainstream socials could essentially be a teaser format, which again would follow that kind of thing. Basically, Instagram has this obnoxious 1 minute limit anyway for most uploads. So, sorry, lost you for a second. Yeah, so because Instagram has this annoying format and that's our primary external platform, I was thinking that what I should be doing, given enough investment, is making longer, I'd say like 3 to 5 minute videos for the platform itself, and whatever is on Insta should just be like a slick abbreviated version.
Interesting. So that's a viable format. The girl the martial arts girl that's been slowly blowing up on who we follow, and a lot of times I'll repost or share her stuff in stories because some of it's really cool. She just put out she and her friend have started an action female like team called a threat league, and they've made a short film, and a lot of people do this. They put out snippets of different like moments from the film for the last like 2 weeks probably, and then this week they posted the whole thing on their Instagram, and so that might be something. Just kind of looking at that format, what you're talking about sounds very similar.
Well, again, the difference here is that the Sensei Clause content I'm making right now, the overarching purpose is to get people to the app, which is hit or miss. So I think that's a valuable way to do it if your goal is the content itself. But if our goal is the app, getting people there, I think it makes a lot of sense to at least leave something only accessible in the app.
Well, I'll say this, man. Like that, there's been this is a good segue to some of the other thinking as well that I wanted to share today, which is transitioning into JFH social being 100% in character, or like mostly in character. Maybe now and then we'll show up behind the scenes, and then making ReelwUrld are out of character. And along those lines, when it comes to getting people in the app, I think what people really want, if I put myself in the shoes of somebody who would want to use Justice for Hire, and the people that have been coming to us in the last few weeks and even today, I did a promo ride with a artist, and she was like, hey, she's had this vigilante hero character that she's wanted to bring to life for a while, but she hasn't known where to do it. And for folks like that, she's like, man, this is amazing that I've met you today and you guys are doing this stuff. Like, the attraction is not going to be a single piece of content, but it's really going to be that it alludes to a whole bunch of other people doing the same thing that person wants to do, which is like embody the heroic character that they wish to see themselves as. So I feel like as long as your content does that, the allure is not going to be, oh, I got to watch the rest of the Sensei Clause video or Jan video or Guru video. It's going to be, oh, I need to be a part of that. And so as long as the message is always going to be, as long as the message somehow, some way is leads back to, hey, there's a lot more where this came from. There's a lot more of us, and there's a bigger support system. And we don't always have to say that whole thing, but as long as the feeling is there, I think people are going to go to the app. So, I think that there's a balance between what we put on screen, the captions, that will help people understand that they have to go to the app and get more. So I wouldn't think too much about. Even for me in the series, like cutting the series, I'm like, okay, what do people really want to see? Well, what they really want is something dope. And it doesn't matter where they get it. As a matter of fact, they probably don't care where they get it. But what they do care about is like more. care about more, and they care about them being like potentially being as dope as that thing that they're looking at. So how can we like service that? So it's just a little shift in thinking that the content is not necessarily the king, but the feeling and the community and the messages.
That's interesting.
So I'm getting it, you know, as long as the content is correct.
I mean, my quick read on that is that's just a more complex sell, because we are in this, you know, very modern, quick fix culture where people do just kind of scroll through like crazy. I don't know how well, again, that's going to communicate using the whole Instagram type format where if you're in a car having a conversation with somebody, you have room to field questions and explain things, where again, I think a lot of people aren't necessarily getting the overarching thing. That's why I was thinking it could be good just to make something to get people there, get their feet a little bit wet.
Well, I mean, I think that you need to do whatever resonates with you to serve the purpose, because I respect that opinion, and you know, I think that all of us doing the same thing is not necessarily what we want. We want everyone kind of doing like saying their part of the message from their perspective. So if you feel like, hey, I'm going to shoot a master video. From that master video, I'm going to cut 3 videos, and those 3 videos are going to be in short format for, you know, IG and TikTok. Oh, he's sitting in the lobby. Let's see. I think Guru's on here. He is. He sure is. But yeah, man. I mean, like, I think as long as you as long as you're playing with formats and you know, checking your data and seeing like, you know, this is how much I'm getting here, but I've made this adjustment. Let's see how that's affected my week.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Mr. Guru, Mr. Z, welcome. Mr. Klaus and I were just having a conversation on format for Instagram and TikTok, and he's thinking about shooting a master video and then cutting smaller videos from that. And then Sensei, correct me if I'm wrong, having that final video, the long form video, only accessible within the app, correct?
More or less. I was thinking more that what I put on Insta or whatever would be basically a teaser. So yeah, you could call that a snippet or some such. But this is largely because, among other things, Instagram can be a nuisance about putting longer videos on it in the first place. So if I'm going to be looking to make longer stuff like instructionals and all that, I think it would make some sense to just put it on the app. Where are we still using YouTube for storage on the app?
Yes, we are definitely using YouTube for storage.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That's functionally infinite, so I can just store stuff on that. If there's any kind of tutorial or something, and if people want to ask questions, you know, they can ask questions in the app.
I'm laughing at somebody at Google in the YouTube storage department just crying that you said it's infinitely infinite. That's infinitely. It's essentially infinite. No, I think it's hilarious to just think about, like, you know, what they might go through for storage. So with the, I don't even know how many minutes, how many hours they get a second uploaded. I know it's insane though.
Well, of course it's not, but in terms of things that we're collectively going to produce, it's a drop in the ocean.
Yes, I agree. So no, I think that's great, but I do recommend experimenting with that with cutting out for those teasers or snippets or whatever we want to call them, cutting out the breath. Like, try that, just see how it works for you, and I can do it on Video Leap fairly easily. It is the most precise if I'm sitting at a desktop, because I know I'm like, okay, I need to cut literally on the first frame of a syllable, and I maybe leave like 3 or 5 frames after the last syllable to create a rhythm. And so it's much more precise on desktop, but I can still accomplish that goal on a mobile editing platform. So definitely. Because I really think that the Sensei Plus, I just think all the stuff you're doing really does shine, in particular. And there is in the attention economy. And
for a second, I think I got it.
Awesome. And Mr. Guru also should catch you up on a shift in some of the in strategy for the social accounts for JFH and ReelwUrld, where JFH will be primarily in character and ReelwUrld will be the out of character side. So at times we'll do more a behind the scenes kind of thing, or obviously like a trailer. But if JFH was a fantasy or sci-fi world, like people would want to see that fantasy and sci-fi experience like with every post somehow, some way.
Yes.
So yes. I think that we have to start thinking in those lines, more in those lines. And so it'll be very, very for the foreseeable future. I think we're going to do a test run, but I think that I think this is even your reaction, I think that's the aligned thing to do.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Any updates from you, Mr. Z? I'm sorry to keep you waiting too. I thought the last thing I saw was that you were stuck at work, so I didn't realize that you were no longer stuck.
No, it's okay. I'm still at work, but I was stuck in a space where I was like, fuck, I can't focus on this and do the portion of my job. But then we finished, and I was like, oh, cool. And I was trying to see if y'all were still on so I could hop on. But yeah, no, it's been good. Just working like crazy, performing like crazy. There was a week-long convention, semi-week-long convention that happened that I was working and mascotting for and stuff. So yeah.
Question: last Thursday was my son's birthday, and it's been a very epic birthday weekend for him. I am.
Bud.
Thank you. I'll let him know you said that. I forgot what we did last week. Did we do your trailer last week for the Thunderclap?
Yes. So I posted the little mini trailer that I made. It was like a minute long. I posted that in the chat that we have on IG.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, so that's in there.
So did you invite JFH as a collaborator? Because if so, I'll just accept that collaboration. Otherwise, I'll repost it.
Not yet. I had to repost it because mine didn't have sound. And when I went to go repost it, I had swept away in work. So yeah, I can repost it and collaborate with you.
Oh, please, that'd be great.
And you want me to collaborate with JFH, right?
Yeah, Justice for Hire, absolutely. That'd be great.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Okay.
Yeah, guys. I don't have any thoughts right now for this.
Okay, sweet.
For this week, other than to take on a challenge, and let's maybe if Demetrius from HBO, not HBO, Warner Media Urban Action Showcase puts out his graphic for the panelists, the judges,
yes,
for the November 5th event. Then we'll.
Quick question. I don't mean to just abruptly cut you off, but you saying that reminded me. Is that the people that are on the list, like Timok and all of them?
We didn't. So no. The short answer is no. Like, well, Demetrius did offer up having some of his folks come on and do it that are going to be there. I mean, I think that might be a good idea. I mean,
Bro, the Last Dragon. That's like
it's true.
That's a dream of mine to meet him.
You know,
Bruce
honestly,
Leroy.
I will reach out to I'll reach out to Demetrius right after this and be like, hey, we just because Timex are there every year, but I didn't necessarily think that he would I didn't necessarily think of him as a judge, and I think he'd be a great judge. Right now, we have tentative Rick Myers, who is not at Comic-Con, but who will who's Sensei knows. Rick, Angelique Zambrana, who plays Louisa JFH, Gossip Girl.
Very exciting.
Aujali, who plays Justine, Max Chen, who plays KO. Pretty much all of our peers that are in the series.
Yeah.
And so the intention was to have like a panel of peers.
Okay.
And Rick Myers being the most senior of the peers. And so yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Brendan Weaver, who plays Cowboy, the UFC fighter. So yeah, I think we're great, but I think that if I should definitely mention how about having Timac as a judge. I think that would be great. So that is the right thing to do. Especially since I think I told you my Timac story, right?
No, please proceed.
So this was 2018 when we were, I think we just won best trailer for JFH with our very first JFH trailer. And I'm in the bathroom and I'm at the urinal using it. And like, I love Timac, you know, and he comes in, I see him every year, but never really like had a long conversation with him. And I want to talk to him about like joining Justice for Hire. So I'm like, hey, Timac, but I'm at the urinal when I'm saying this. And he just looks at me, he's like, and he keeps on, one second, and he keeps on going. And then I realized that I was trying to talk to him, you know, while I'm using the urinal. And I was just like, hey, he probably didn't appreciate that. Oh, like, I wouldn't necessarily appreciate it too. Hey, Jan, hold on for a second. I want to tell you something. You know? So so I'm sure he's forgotten that, or it's burned into his memory. One of those.
One of the two happened.
One of those things. Everything is just fine. All done with love and innocence.
Well, fabulous.
Guys, I think we have a good session today. I'm super grateful for you guys as usual. And you know, let's go for it this week. I'll let you know if I get that graphic from Demetrius. And like I said, whatever challenge you could take on. And Z, I will await your posting and then accept the collaboration.
Absolutely. I also have a question for you, but I think that's outside of this meeting.
Okay. And like message me with anything, and we can go from there. I love you guys, and thank you as usual. And anybody who watches these things, wefunder.com/ReelwUrld, wefunder.com/ReelwUrld, WURLD, REEL, and of course, justiceforhire.app or .com. .app is the app where you can join and become part of the cast, and .com is just the main website that'll show you everything that leads you to the app, so you can learn more about what we're doing. So we love you guys. Cinematic Social Network, building it together, making movies and shows of the world. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Z. And love you guys. And I'll see you next week, if not sooner.
Thank you, brother.
Good.